My name is Kris Gethin, and what I aim to bring to you is inspiration, motivation from clients, everything that will allow you to evolve as a human being. Hello, everybody. It is Kris Gethin here with the Knowledge and Mileage podcast. And this week, we've got a bit of a twist that we're going to have frequently moving forward in this podcast. It's like Transformation Tuesday, where I'm going to be interviewing a VIP client, a one-on-one client of mine that I've been training online and sharing their inspiring story. And of course, the pictures to go with it. So this particular gentleman who is on the other line, it's like 1:30 in the morning in the UK with him, is Ross Assenheim. I got that right, didn't I, Ross?
You did.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. And he'll give you a little bit more details, but he obviously had a lot of obstacles to go through. Some people cannot relate to me when I'm talking or showing one of my transformations, but I'm sure a lot of you will relate, because it's quite easy for us to justify our excuses and say, well, you know, I work night shifts, I got a family, I have these commitments, I can't get enough sleep, blah, 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 blah. However, there are people out there like Ross that defy all these excuses and don't allow that justification to seep into their veins to create a reality. But anyway, Ross, thank you very much for joining me. I know it's 1:30 in the morning, but this is like daytime for you, yeah?
It is. This is my normal working hours, yeah. So, yeah, I'm used to being up this time every day, basically.
So can you tell the listeners and the viewers, we're going to be on YouTube as well, what you do for a living? You know, I'm sure people are wanting to understand, you know, what you do, what are your commitments, you know, your family, your background, and, you know, what was the tipping point that made you reach out to me?
Well, I've got a farm shop that I run. It's quite a busy shop in Essex, in the United Kingdom. It's called Barleylands Farm Shop, and it's a 24-hour business. I've got people here all night. I'm here now. I've got people here all night making orders up. We supply a lot of schools and restaurants in the local area. And I get up at 10:30 at night, and I'll go into London, into New Spitalfields Market in Latham, and do all the buying for the next day. I come back to the shop from there normally about 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's a lot of work to be done back at the shop when I get here. And over the years, really, when you're up that kind of time at night, I've got a young family, a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old, 2 boys. I'm married. And you just try and balance the family life with the work life, and you end up getting not a lot of sleep. And with that comes, I was drinking a lot of energy drinks, sugary energy drinks, eating the wrong kind of stuff, just picking at stuff rather than eating proper meals, and rub the wrong stuff, really, like chocolate, things like that. And obviously over time that builds up, and you end up having a fat belly like I did, really. The last couple of years, I've been really looking at my health a lot. Got into biohacking, following people on Instagram. And I've just found your account via that, really. I think it's probably Tim Biohacker.
Tim Gray.
Yeah, I think I found you via him. Started following you, seeing your transformations. And I thought, I'll have some of that. I'll try and give it a go. But looking at your transformations, I always thought, I don't know, like, they're so good. I was unsure whether I'd be able to reach that, you know, because they did look really good. But I thought I'd give it a go. That's why I wanted to sign up with you. And thankfully, yes, it's ended up good. The results have been really good.
Yeah, you had a great transformation. And actually, I'm going to show that before we go on now. So I'm going to show it to the camera there. Okay, as you can see, there's a phenomenal transformation there, but I'll actually make sure that this is put on in post-production as well, so you can get a better, closer look at that. And not only that, you've been vegetarian for over 30 years now, correct?
Sorry, you cut out then, I didn't hear that.
Sorry, will you say you were how long have you been vegetarian?
I've been vegetarian since I was 7 years old.
7 years old. Yeah, so
as soon as I realised what I was eating, when I realised what it was, what I was eating, I just didn't want to eat it. As soon as I realised chicken was a chicken and a hamburger was a cow and things like that, I just didn't want to eat it anymore. When I was a kid, I'm an animal lover, and that's why I changed when I was 7. Everyone thought it was a phase, but I'm 42 now and still the same. So
that's phenomenal. So your parents weren't vegetarian, I think. At that very young age, you figured that out and realised, okay, there is such a thing as vegetarianism, and I'm going to go that route.
Yeah, I don't know how I heard of it at the time, but I just didn't want to eat meat anymore. after that, I got a younger sister. She turned vegetarian a couple of years later because she looked up to her big brother. And then my dad did as well a couple of years after that, and they're all still veggie now.
Wow, that's phenomenal. That's a crowd source of inspiration there.
Yeah.
Have you followed Pritchard over there at all? Do you know Pritchard from that TV show, Dirty Sanchez, the MTV show?
No, I've heard of that. I've never seen it.
So he's got a couple of great TV channels, TV shows on YouTube as well, and a couple of great cookbooks. Yeah. And it's called Dirty Vegan. Great cookbooks he's got there. I've got them here.
Yeah, since the vegan thing took off a couple of years back, to be a vegetarian is so easy in this country, really. But the only problem is with the vegan stuff, a lot of it isn't actually that healthy, which I've learned the last couple of years. We've got a lot of seed oils in it and things like this. You have to be careful. Just because you say you're vegetarian or vegan doesn't mean you're healthy, like by default. You know, like myself, a vegetarian, I was probably 3 stone, 4 stone overweight. Not in particularly, I wasn't fit at all. I couldn't run or anything like that. So that's you say to people you're vegetarian, and a lot of people by default just assume, oh, you must be really healthy and stuff like that. That's not how it works. You can be vegetarian like I was, eating chocolate all day, drinking Monsters, eating the wrong, and obviously you're not healthy then. You're putting weight on and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, 100%. And like you said, you know, with these, soybean oils and canola oils, vegetable oils, and a lot of these kind of manufactured meats, these imitation meats, you know, they've got more ingredients in there and ingredients that I can't even pronounce. So how the body would recognize them, I don't know. But obviously there is healthier ways of doing it. And that's basically, you know, preparing your food by, you know, yourself.
Well, yeah. I've always been a big fan of all that fake meat and stuff like that until the last couple of years, until I've started like looking into things and realizing what's in them. And really nowadays, I'm totally the other way now. I don't really want to eat all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So tell us, like, when you first started with us or with myself, you know, like the first week, what were the changes and what were the kind of withdrawal effects that you felt and had when we first begun working together?
Well, the biggest thing for me really has been having my wife has been brilliant this whole 6 months. She's been prepping my meals every night, so I get up in the night and my meals are there ready for me in the day. What you set out in the meal plan, that has been one of the biggest things for me. Really, is having the meal plan set out. The different food that you told me to have, plus it being ready, and not me getting hungry at 2 in the morning, and the only option I've got is just something quickly pick off the shelf in the shop or something. Like I've got a meal there, I know what I've got to eat at what time I've got to eat. It's kept me full up. That has been really one of the biggest changes for me, is having the preparation now. The supplements I was already taking a few supplements, actually, a few of the ones that you'd already said. But a lot of like the Micro Pure Isolate, that was a different thing. The whey powders, all the Cage Muscle stuff that I got. I was already having some of that, to be honest with you. Really, I would say really the biggest difference is having that plan in place there so you don't eat the wrong stuff. So you've got the right food there. I set my alarm on my phone, like you said in the plan, every 3 hours to eat. And that was going off, reminding me to eat at the right times. And I would say that is the biggest change, really. Also, I swapped out where I was having a lot of Monsters. Even though I was trying to have the sugar-free ones. Obviously, it's still full of a lot of chemicals and things like that. I changed. I don't have them anymore. I have the Hydra Charge Amped, which has like been a bit of a game changer, really. And I find that really. If you have sweet cravings, you can have a Hydra. I've got my bottle there with me now.
There you go, the gallon jug, the meathead jugs.
Yeah. I do that every day. I drink that every day quite easily now. That kind of kills the cravings as well. Because I've got a very sweet tooth. I get cravings for chocolate. Really, that's my main downfall, I suppose. But that I find that the Hydra Charge kills them cravings. That's been a big game changer with me, to be honest with you. And I've got my wife on that as well now, because she's the same. She's got like a sweet tooth, I suppose, for like desserts and things like that. But she finds now if she has a Hydra Charge, kills that sweet craving. That's been a big change for me as well. A big thing, really.
And it's great if you have a little bit of carbonation with it. If you're so used to having like energy drinks that has that carbonation, sometimes you crave that.
That's been good.
Yeah, get some sparkling water, isn't it? Like that. That's perfect.
Yeah, been doing that as well. Yeah.
Did you get like withdrawal symptoms after you cut all the energy drinks out?
I used to, yeah. If I didn't before I started your plan, if I cut them out, yeah, badly, I would get massive headaches, things like that. Because the hydrocharge amp's still got a bit of caffeine in it, that helps with that kind of side of it, really, because a lot of it was the caffeine withdrawal. But even though like, I'll have just a hydrocharge amped in the morning or the night, whatever you want to call it, when I get up, really, like after I've had some water with the HRW tablet in it. I have that every morning.
Yeah, the hydrogen rich water.
Yeah. Then I'll have your Outlive 100 with hydrocharge amps mixed in all together. That kind of like it's like instead of my coffee, really. I don't really drink too much coffee. And that kind of wakes me up. But I would be having monsters like throughout the day, like 3 or 4 maybe. It's really bad for you, you know. But the hydrocharge amp, I'll just have one of them. And that would be fine for the whole day, really. I don't need any more. So I don't really get them caffeine headaches like I did before, because I'm not having as much caffeine now.
Yeah, and it's an organic form of caffeine as well, which is a little bit more sustained release. And, you know, speaking of cravings as well, did you find, you know, some people do, some people don't. Do you find that, you know, because you're craving chocolate, if you're having any like chocolate casein or chocolate isolate shake, do you find that kills any cravings, or more than anything, that's more convenience to have as like a meal replacement or in between meals?
Yeah, I don't know if about cravings. The isolate, I would normally have that when I go home. The isolate with the oats. I would end up really looking forward to that, because I really did enjoy that. You know, to say it killed the cravings, yeah, maybe it did actually, yeah, because I don't get them anymore. So. And that stopped pretty quick into the program actually, because I was pretty focused from the get-go, you know. I've said to you when I applied, like if I got a plan, I can follow it, and I know I can follow it pretty good. I won't deviate from it. So as soon as we started, I was like focused really. I wasn't really, the cravings were just blocking them out really, because I was focused on the end result.
Yeah, and that's understandable. Like, you know, for instance, you know, if when I first started doing like, you know, Ironman training, I was like, well, I've never done anything like this before. I need to get a coach. And when you have somebody there that's mapping out the navigation, so you can kind of not looking at a map and getting lost and not, you know, no idea if the GPS is working, you've actually got that navigation that you can follow. And it just creates that a little bit more accountability, because you know that the person that you're going to be communicating with is that, you know, you're putting your sincerity on the line and you need to be authentic in what you're kind of doing. And it just creates another form of accountability to yourself, I think, as well. Anyway, so what, you know, obviously you've got a very, very busy work schedule. Just if you could just share what your schedule is like at work and with your family on weekends as well, and how were you able to fit in your cardio sessions and workout sessions within your schedule?
Yeah, well, this is my work schedule. This just a good example. This is Sunday morning, 10 to 2 in the morning for me. That's my work schedule. You know, the weekends don't mean anything really. I work a lot of the time 7 days a week. I might work a little bit less on a Sunday, but I'll get up at 10:30 at night, go up to Spitalfields Market. I'll be back at the shop 2 o'clock, 2:30 most mornings. If on a good day, I can get away from the shop at 10 in the morning, and I've been doing that more whilst I've been following this plan. To try and get home, maybe have an hour's sleep, and then get down the gym 4 times a week minimum. What I've been doing, and I've been making a conscious effort really to try and get away from the shop by 10, 11 o'clock maybe at the latest, so I can fit that gym in. That's how I've been fitting it in. Really, the family thing. That's one. The only thing I've struggled with on the plan is my sleep, because even though I go and try and get a bit of sleep before I go to the gym, I always want to see my kids every day, regardless. So they come home from school different times, depending on what clubs they've got. They come home most of the time 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5. I always wait up to see them every single day without fail. By the time I've seen them, spent a bit of time, it's normally 6:30 at night. That's when I'll go to sleep. Obviously, I'm getting up at 10:30 again, so it's 4 hours sleep. If I don't get that hour earlier on in the day, that can roll over, and that can become you're very, very tired, you know. So that's the only thing I've struggled with, is my sleep. But with getting the sessions in and stuff like that, I've just been leaving work a little bit earlier than usual, really, or not. I don't know, yeah, it is really like making a conscious effort really to try and get away and focus a little bit on my health for the last 6 months.
Yeah. And I bet this time of year, because I've been to Spitalfield markets quite a few times. I love going down there, like Shoreditch and whatever. This time of year, I was around that area 2 years ago, and I can only imagine how busy it is now with all the Christmas shopping. I'm sure your hours are probably extended a little bit even more this time of year.
Yeah, the shop's open 24 hours for a couple of days running up to Christmas and that. Yeah, the hours, yeah, we open till later. It's a busy shop anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, Christmas is, it's the busiest time of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. So just as we think that these challenges aren't enough with your family, your work schedule, etc., and I'm sure a lot of people would think being, vegetarian is a challenge as well.
Yeah.
Not only that, you slipped 3 discs in your back several years ago.
Yeah.
So, how number one, how did that happen? And if you could share as well with the listeners and the viewers how you're able to work around that and how your back feels now.
Well, that happened. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago at the shop. I'd had a history really of having a bad back just through all the manual work really I've done over the years. Probably not lifting properly, things like that. My back's, well, I've not really done the gym a lot in the past. My back's really probably wasn't that strong as what it could be. And I was just pushing a big box of fireworks, and I just felt it go, and I was used to that feeling anyway. But that time was like the worst ever. I just got straight in my car and drove home. I had to actually go to the bank on the way home that day. Could barely get out of my car, and I remember walking down Brentwood High Street going to the bank, and I put my hood up on my coat because I was walking so bad, like a zombie. I thought if anyone sees me who knows me, they're going to think I'm on drugs or something, because honestly, I was that bad. I could barely walk, and I didn't want anyone to see me and think, blimey, what's happened to him? I got home that night, went to bed, that day, went to bed, and then I couldn't, when I got up at night to go to the market, I couldn't move. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't even roll over. And I was getting massive back spasms, like the worst pain I've ever had in my life. Eventually I had MRI scans on it and stuff. I was off work for about 6 weeks, and there was 3 discs slipped in my back at the same time, 3 at the same time. It was bad. But so they advised against having an operation. They said, if you just rest, that will repair itself, which it did. But I've had a history ever since. I can tell the kind of warning signs now. So if I start getting twinges and that, I will back off a little bit from whatever I'm doing. But since I've been doing this plan, right at the start, I just had a few twinges again, but that was normal for me, really. And I did have to take a couple of sessions off the gym. But really, as we've got more into the plan, my back's strengthened up, and touch wood, it's the best now it's ever been. My back is I really can't fault it. I don't want to jinx myself or anything, because I've had a lot of problems with it in the past, but it feels great now. I've got no issues with it at all, ever.
Yeah, and I'm sure, because like during this process, you dropped like 30 pounds or over 30 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a huge relief on your back as well.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, that's how I got into weight training, is because of my back issue from racing motocross. And, I went to various specialists, and it wasn't until I went to a physiotherapist and started doing resistance training that all of a sudden I felt slight alleviation of the issues that I was and still deal with in my back. If I take time away from the gym, or if I'm sat in a static position for a duration of time, let's say on a plane, then it gives me issues. But movement is the best thing. And unfortunately, a lot of people out there think, okay, I've got an injury, I best not do anything from now on for the rest of my life, which is the worst thing they can do, because a skeleton, obviously, with gravity over time, just keeps collapsing and collapsing. But the more we can bring it tight and taut with a lot of that alleviation with added muscle density around the skeleton, you're not going to deal with those skeletal issues. No,
I've noticed my back is like the best it's ever been at the minute. It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how has this affected your people around you, like co-workers or your wife, your family? Have they been inspired by seeing the transformation? What's their feedback?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've had loads, like virtually everyone I ever see. Even just 2 days ago, some lady in the shop said to me, "Blimey, you've lost a lot of weight." A lot of people have said it to me loads, but I couldn't count how many people. And it has had an effect on other people as well. Some people I work with in Spitalfields Market have started going to the gym a lot more and changed their diet and asked me for advice since they've seen how I've done, how well I've done, and they've changed quite a bit as well, their physiques. My little son, my 7-year-old particularly, he is well into his health and fitness. If I'm like, I've got a little home gym, it's not really nothing too much, but I've got a treadmill. And if ever I'm in there, he always comes in there with me and starts doing a few exercises and stuff. He's started his own little YouTube channel telling people how to exercise. He's really into it. So it's really inspired him. And the same with my wife, really. She started eating a lot better. As I say, she's on the Hydra charge now during the daytime. And yes, and she's, it definitely inspired her as well. So it does have an effect on people around you. Yeah, I've had friends of mine have been asking me what I've been doing and things like that. So yeah, it definitely does inspire the people around you for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome that your boy has got like a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah. He's well into it. He gets in the ice bath with me as well. He loves an ice bath.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, serious? He loves it. He loves it.
Wow, at 7 years old, like, will he like go down to his chest?
Yeah, it gets right up to his neck. Yeah, like properly into it. Yeah.
Wow,
it can't quite last as long as me in it, but actually, saying that, he has done it 3 or 4 minutes before in there.
Interesting. So can you, speaking of ice baths, can you talk about a few of the biohacks that you employ and that you go through as well, including supplements as well, if you want?
Yeah, well, as I say, before I started training with you, I was already getting a little bit into that already. I had a full stack red light rising red light machine. So I've been using that. That helps me really. Sure
I'm sure that really helps with your circadian rhythm as well.
That's exactly what I try to do. Every morning, every night when I get up, I do go in front of that for 20 minutes and do some stretching and try to kind of wake myself up with that, which it works great. I've done it this morning. Yeah, ice baths I've been doing. I was already getting in. I was doing cold showers actually. I hadn't done any ice baths before I started training with you. I think I find the ice bath I find it like easier than a shower, I would say, because if you're in the shower, kind of half of you is warm and half of you is under the coldness, you know. But when you're in the ice bath, you're fully submerged in the cold. I find it easier, even though I tell you what, one thing I've really noticed since I've lost my weight, I find the ice baths a lot harder. I was finding them so easy, and all I can put it down to is the fat loss.
Exactly, it's the insulation. You don't have the insulation.
Yeah. So I normally just fill the bath up at home with just pure cold water, which at the minute is absolutely freezing because the UK is really cold at the minute. And then I've got 9 2-litre bottles that I just keep frozen all the time, and they're just like giant ice cubes basically. I put the 9 2-litre bottles of water in the bath. And yeah, as I say, the more weight I've lost, the harder I've found it to do. I can still do it, you know, but I really do. Before I was just sitting in it like a normal bath, but now I'm sitting in it thinking, God, I want this 5 minutes to be over as soon as possible, really. But yeah, that's one thing I've really been doing a lot. Supplements, yeah, I was doing a lot of the supplement stuff before that, to be honest with you. The one thing I've been doing different is the H2O water, the hydrogen water every morning. That has been one big difference I've been doing every day. A lot, yeah. Multivitamins I was taking, or I've changed the multivitamin what I'm taking now.
And you do
I've looked for a lot
glutathione and things like that as well.
Yeah, glutamine I've been putting in, obviously in the bottle every day.
And glutathione, you were taking glutathione as well, or maybe not?
No.
Glutathione. Okay, got it.
I do have some intravenous drips with glutathione.
Right, that was it. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I've been doing that. But yeah, the red light therapy in the morning. I can't really think of anything else at the minute.
That was it. Not blocking the blue light yet.
Oh yeah, I've got them. Yeah, I normally wear them in the office here actually, the like the semi kind of ones. But yeah, I've been blocking the blue light. Yeah, but I was doing that really as well before I was with you. I was getting into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are all phenomenal things. It's great biohacks, especially considering, again, you working, late nights, you're not getting so much sunlight, obviously vitamin D being a big part of that, but having your hydrogen rich water, antioxidants, your hydrocharge antioxidants, again, taking that ice bath, which will help great with blood sugar stability, because the risk that you run into when you're working nights is creating some form of insulin resistance. So you help with that insulin stability and sensitivity with those ice baths as well. And obviously toning your vagal nerve so you have more emotional stability as well. And it's like taking a caffeine hit without actually having the caffeine. And I bet, and the red light rising, obviously, that's a great, powerful machine. That's a really, really great for your circadian rhythm, for testosterone production, nitric oxide production, obviously for your skin as well. Absolutely phenomenal. But with the ice bath, I'm sure that you find, this is what I find when I lean out and I start using the ice bath. Not only do I find it harder, it takes so much longer to warm back up. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely. I can't, my feet, after I get out of the ice bath now, I have to put socks on and like, put them on the radiator and stuff. Like I just can't get them back warm again. Yeah, I really have noticed that. Yeah, I've been saying that to people.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Like I'm in, people come in the house or something every now and again, and I've got my hoodie on, I've got the hood up, all wrapped up. I'm like, it's gonna take me about 3 hours now to defrost and feel normal.
Yeah, that's definitely what I've been finding, definitely.
Well, thank you ever so much for your time. Before we go, is there anything that you'd like to add at all, Ross?
I just want to say, it's been great, really great working with you. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I've really got into the gym since I've been training with you, which I've never been able to do before. I've always found the gym as a bit of a chore, but since I've been following your plan, I now really look forward to going to the gym. I miss the gym. If I miss the session, I really do miss it. I'll get the urge to go. So that's one thing I've always wanted to be like that. I've always wanted to be one of these people that's right into the gym, but I could never really do it before. But being on this plan consistently over the last 6 months, I've really got into the gym now. So I'm really pleased with that. My eating's a lot better. It's just been an honour to work with you, really. I've been really pleased with how it's gone. And really happy with everything.
The pleasure's been all mine, mate. Pleasure's been all mine. So what's your next goal now? What are you working towards now? Is it maintaining? You want to lean out more? You want to build up more muscle? What's the goal? I
definitely want to keep the weight down. Yeah, that is my main, and my fitness. I'm really fit at the minute. I can run really well. I want to keep that level of fitness up, maintain the weight. I'd like to build a bit more muscle, really. But even though that was never really my aim, now I've leaned down a little bit. I'm not really worried about being too big, but I would like to build a little bit more muscle, maybe. But really, the main focus is keeping the weight down, eating properly, and keeping my fitness up. As I'm getting older, I know that I've got to look after myself more as I get older, and I want to be in good shape still for another 40, 50 years to come. So that's my main focus, really.
Okay, awesome. And obviously we'll keep improving your health span and your longevity. We'll get you into the B Superhuman biohacking lab there as soon as it's open there.
I'll be down there.
And do you want to just tell everyone your Instagram account, because you can give your business a shout out here before we go?
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. It's at Barleylands Farm Shop on Instagram.
Okay, awesome. And we'll make sure that we put that in the description there in case anybody has a confusion with that Essex accent over there.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, brother. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas period. And
you too.
Really appreciate you, and it's been an honor training you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Same. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, bud. All right. Take it easy.
Cheers, mate.
And that's it. That is the Knowledge and Mileage podcast. As I mentioned, we will be hosting intermittently some of these transformation Tuesdays of getting inspiring stories from some of my clients that I feel very honored, and it's an absolute pleasure to train these people and not only experience their transformations from a before and after picture, but hearing their story. As I mentioned in the podcast, not everybody can relate to my story. Some people think that I work out for a living. Not the case. I just want to prove to you that everybody, no matter their challenges, no matter their background or their work schedule or family commitments, has the opportunity to transform. Some people have just lost their way. They need the navigation to transform, and that's what I provide. I provide the accountability, the navigation, and the tools and information and the education that I've gathered over the past 20, 25 years now in order for you to transform, to be your best self, optimize your health, your fat loss, your muscle building goals, your performance goals, whatever it may be. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me. And until next time, my name is Kris Gethin, and we is out. Thank you ever so much for listening. My name is Kris Gethin, and I am out.